Assalamualaikum. We are from Group 3, representing to you our assignment 2, Ethics, about the case study of choosing to install a smart meter. Here is our group members and task distribution. Muhammad HAZIQ tasked with the moral problem statement and problem analysis. SHAZWAN will tasked about to research about the option for action. FAIZ about the ethical judgment. And me, HAIQAL, tasked with reflection and morally acceptable action. Here is our presentation outline. We will starting with introducing to you our case background summary, then proceed with Rayaker's method of framework ethical circle, starting with moral value statement, problem analysis, option for action, ethical judgment, and our reflection. And finally, we will make our recommendation and our reference in this project. Firstly, the case background summary. The scenario is that Sam is being pressured to transition to an smart meter by the company, the energy company, and he seek an advice from his childhood friend Alex, who is an environmental engineer. While the technology promise the sustainability and cost control, it introduced significant risk to data privacy and eventually expose an illegal intention from Sam parts. This placed Alex as a friend and a professional engineer in a complex professional and personal dilemma. So we will proceed with our framework.
Thank you for my members Akil. My name is Muhammad HAZIQ bin SAZALI. My number metric TB2562 I will present about the moral problem statement. What is the problem? The core issues is that Alex as an engineer is legally and ethically obligated to provide honest and objective counsel. The smart meter rollout is not just a simple good technology. It has hidden layers that the utility company is hiding from the public, such as hidden infrastructure costs and data privacy exploitation. For whom is it a problem? This is not Sam's ethical problem, it is Alex. Sam is not bound by any professional code of conduct, but Alex is as a friend. Alex feel a sense of personal loyalty to Sam. However, as a registered professional engineer, he is strictly bound by the engineer code of ethics, which mandate him to prioritize public interest and uphold the law. What is the moral nature? Alex is trapped in a situation where several core values heavily clash with one another. The first value is a sustainability and public policy, supporting the smart meter installation to help achieve the net zero transition. The second value, data transparency and personal loyalty, wanting to protect user privacy, the 300-minute data trap, and staying loyal to his childhood friend by not betraying his trust. Okay, the next slide is a problem analysis stakeholder and interest. The first stakeholder, we have Sam. Sam want what every normal consumer want, cheap bill and privacy. However, his hidden motive growing marijuana twice his interest in privacy. He does not just want data privacy because it's a right, he want it to hide data anomalized from law enforcement. The second, Alex. Alex is the focal point of this mapping. His primary motivation is not personal gain. It is protecting his career integrity and professional reputation. If he give bad advice or get linked to some operation, his engineering license is at risk. Next, engineer utility company. The utility company look at this from a macro level. They care about data tracking because it allows them to balance the electrical grid efficiently. The last, society, and law enforcement. Society expect professionals like Alex to act as gatekeepers. If Alex helps Sam hide his high electricity consumption, it puts a strain on the local grid infrastructure, meaning law-abiding citizens end up indirectly bearing the cost of an unstable grid. For my last part is a problem analysis, moral value and relevant fact versus uncertainty. We are analyzing the moral value and fact of this case. First, there is a clash between sustainability, which means supporting green technology, and honest because the company hide infrastructure costs from the bill. Second, we have privacy, since the meter track data every 30 minutes, which risks customer data exposure. But the most critical value here is legal compliance. Alex has a strict professional duty to avoid helping Sam with his illegal activities. Lastly, for the fact, it is a fact that smart meter capture granular data continuously, but there is an uncertainty regarding how secure the wireless network actually is against cyber threat. That's all from me. So I will pass at the next member. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad AMIRUL SHAZWAN bin NASARUDDIN, TB25020. Now that my friend have clearly defined the moral problem and analyzed the stakeholders, and right now I will be taking you through the third step of the ethical cycle, which is options for actions. Okay, in this phase, Alex's goal is to brainstorm the most practical and ethical path so that Sam can take regarding the smart meter installation. Rather than just making a blind guess, we have developed three distinct options. Most importantly, each of these options have grounded clearly with the NSPE Code of Ethics. Okay, let's look at the first option. The first option is what we call the transparency approach, which is demand full technical disclosure before consent. The action here is for Alex to advise Sam to conditionally accept the meter after Alex helps Sam to do the request proof of meter functionality because Sam needs concrete answer about how his data will be secured, a breakdown of the actual cost behind the free rollout, and a strict guarantee that the meter will not go down if he decides to switch energy providers in the future. Why is this an ethical code? It is because it aligns perfectly with NSPE Code 3. This code states that engineer must issue statement in an objective and truthful manner, including all relevant information. By demanding this documentation, SAM is holding the energy supplier accountable to this exact standard, forcing them to reveal the full technical truth, not just the positive marketing. Next, our second option is the sustainability approach, which is proceed with installation to support microgrids. Under this path, the action for Alex is recommend to Sam that he can proceed with the installation and look at the bigger picture. He accepts the meter and actively use his near real-time data to lower his household energy consumption, like charging his electric vehicle during cheaper off-peak hours. The ethical foundation for this decision is NSPE Code 2. This specific code encourages engineers to adhere to the principle of sustainable development to protect the environment for the future generations. Finally, our third option is the consumer welfare approach, reject and petition for technical standardization. In this scenario, Alex takes a stand. The action for Alex is to warn Sam to completely refuse the installation, but it doesn't stop there. Alex must file a formal complaint with energy regulators regarding the deceptive free marketing and the deployment of non-interoperable technology. This aligns very strongly with NSPE Code 1, which mandates holding paramount the welfare and the safety of public. If an energy company is knowingly deploying flawed technology that traps consumer and high costs, An ethical stand is to reject it entirely and demand it industry standard. To summarize, the option for Alex is he can demand transparency or can prioritize the environment, and lastly, he can protect consumer welfare by opting out. Each of these three ethical paths has a strong, valid ethical justification backed up by the NSPE Code of Ethics. The question now becomes, which of these is the best moral choice for Alex? I will now pass the presentation over to my teammate who will guide us through the step 4 of the ethical cycle, which is ethical judgment, to help Alex find that final answer. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FAIZ bin Muhammad TAHIR. My metric number is TG24076. So thank you to AMIRUL for explaining options for action. So now I'm going to talk about the ethical judgment. So let's break down exactly what these codes dictate for Alex situation. First, under the UK framework, there is an explicit directive to maintain a high standard of professional conduct and to act in accordance with the law. This completely strips away any ambiguity. Alex cannot legally or professionally advise Sam on how to evade detection for an illegal activity. So, if we look locally at the Board of Engineers Malaysia, the regulation emphasizes completely fidelity to public interest and safety. Ensuring safe legal power draw isn't just a technical requirement, it is a civic obligation. Finally, the NSPE Code of Ethics section for the first one, that engineer must hold paramount the safety, health and welfare of the public. Why is this highly relevant here? Because unregulated hydro-domestic drug operations are notorious for bypassing safety standards, creating massive electrical fire risks that directly threaten neighboring families. And furthermore, for the second one, explicit forbid engineers from participating in deceptive act. So looking at this slide, the professional conscience is absolute. Alex's duty to public safety and professional integrity entirely override his personal loyalty to Sam. His code dictates an absolute refusal to assist in concealing a hazard. First, let's look through the utilitarian lens, which focuses on maximizing the greatest good for the greatest number of people. On a micro level, smart grid adoption is a massive win. It significantly reduces societal carbon footprints. However, on a micro level, masking structural fire risks of weaponizing data to cover up electrical thief directly harms the local community. For the smart grid to maximize public good, the data must remain accurate, transparent, and trustworthy. Next, we look at the right lens. Now, Sam does have a fundamental right to data privacy, such as knowing how their 30 minutes interval utility logs are handled. However, ethical and civic rights are not absolute. They are bounded by the right of others. There is no fundamental right to use utility data to mask a criminal hazard that puts a neighborhood at risk. Finally, let's look at a lens that is often overlooked in a rigid corporate environment, the care ethic. This framework deeply values relationship and long-term friendship. A detached analysis might say that Alex should just instantly report Sam without a second thought. But care ethics suggests that true care doesn't mean enabling a friend dangerous, self-destructive behavior. Assisting Sam puts Sam at risk of severe criminal prosecution or worse. Instead, care ethic implies that Alex should use his professional authority and personal relationship to intervene, counseling Sam away from a high-risk path before it's too late. Ultimately, whether we look at global professional codes or deeply human ethical lens, the conclusion converges that Alex must remain to manipulate the data, and he has a unique opportunity to act as a voice of reason for his friend. Now I'm going to pass over to my friend Akil.
Thank you, Amma. Here in the reflection phase, where Alex have a wagging contracting belief, where his personal institution is to protect the lifelong friendship and avoid being a corporate spy or whistleblower. Then belief B as his professional duty as an engineer to uphold engineering integrity, environmental net zero progression, and adherence to legal standard. To resolve this by using the ethical circle framework, the blindly supporting same illegal plan violate the fundamental and foundational principle of safety and honesty. The true engineering reflection prove that providing an objective factual breakdown of how smart grid data works serve both a friendship and professional ethics, revealing that smart meter tracks and flag abnormal predeterminates consumption anomaly naturally deter the same from pursuing an unsafe and illegal operation. In conclusion, our group suggests Alex in using option 1, which is transparency approach uh, to advise to the same that they need to install the smart meter, but with transparency from the company about the hidden costs and etc. And Alex must also be absolute transparency regarding the data privacy. Then must also explicitly refuse to provide any advice or engineering insight on how to bypass, hack, or manipulate the smart meter telemetry for illegal action. And if SAM proceed with illegal structure hazardous modification to house wiring, Alex duty to public safety, according to NSPE require him to advise the Community Safety Authority. This is uphold the environmental accountability and honor individual transparency and protect public safety by refusing to compromise the engineering integrity for illegal activities. Here is our reference that we use throughout our assignments. And that's all from us. Thank you.